What's up, everybody? 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 This is the What's That Noise podcast. This is the What's That Noise podcast.
What's that noise?
This is the What's That Noise podcast.
What's that noise?
This is the What's That Noise podcast. I'm your host, Keith Johnson. We're back at it again, man. I'm excited to bring you episode 6. Episode 6. I'm loving this, guys. Again, it's episode 6. Let's give it up for episode 6. Episode 6. It's episode 6, guys. Just want to go through some numbers like I always do, just because I think it's important that we know that we're growing together and that this thing is getting bigger by each episode. And it's only by the grace of you guys. I want to thank you so much. This is how it's got to this point, is because of you guys. The only reason it's got this far is because of you guys. Only because of you guys. That's the only reason it's got this far, and I appreciate it. But some stats for episode 6. So far in this journey, in this pod journey, we've been downloaded 1,500 times. So it's 1,500 downloads in 5 episodes. We've started a YouTube channel that has started off going very, very well. Make sure you check that out. My YouTube channel is Keith Johnson Jr. It's a couple videos on there. Check me out, subscribe, please subscribe. That way we can keep going and doing this content and having this these talks that we have, having these discussions, these real life discussions, while I'm being as real as I can be and giving you guys real life stuff. That not only is my real life, but you guys' real life. Like, this is not just me, this is you. So if you ain't got time for it, then most likely, then I probably don't got time for it either.
Ain't nobody got time
Then
for
ain't
that.
nobody got time for it. So again, this is episode 6. It's been streamed in 15 different countries. 15 different countries, 150 different cities, which is amazing. When I was going through some of the cities on there, I'm like, some of the countries on there, I'm like, what are the countries that this has been streamed in the most, right? Obviously I knew, United States of America was number 1, and it was by far. But then I had in the top 5, listen to the top 5. This is the top 5. Bangladesh was in the top 5. Philippines was in the top 5. Ireland was in the top 5. And France was in the top 5. 𝗪𝗛𝗓𝗧𝗏. I said 𝗪𝗛𝗓𝗧𝗏. Je voudrais en français dire oui. Oui. Yeah, man. So I mean, these countries surprise me. I mean, I don't know anyone in any of these places, but the pod is doing well there. So shout out to Bangladesh, shout out to Philippines, shout out to Ireland, shout out to France. 𝗪𝗛𝗓𝗧𝗏. Je voudrais see, I don't know, but yeah, I actually took French for a couple years, but never used it besides playing around, and that's probably how everyone else did their languages, right? But yeah, let's jump right into this. And again, thank you so much for making this pod what it is so far and helping me grow. It has a lot more to go, a lot farther to go, a lot more people to reach. I just ask that you share the pod, you like the pod, you subscribe to the pod, review the pod, do it all for the pod. Just do it for the pod. Just do it for the pod. What you doing? Just do it for the pod. Just do it for the pod. So please keep following and telling everybody and sharing your thoughts about the podcast, and let me know what things you like me to do better, what more you would like to see from me, what other topics you would like to see. The YouTube has been a great addition, and so far you guys have liked it, and I appreciate it. Yeah, and we're gonna keep pushing on. I usually like to start off with this with the COVID-19 update, because obviously that's what's what's going on in our lives right now that's taking over, and it's affecting all of our lives, and it is, you know, has our world in a turn, in a funk. We're all in a funk over this. And I just encourage everyone to stay positive, stay safe, you know, do what's recommended. If you don't want to do it for others. Wear your mask, continue to social distance. I know everyone is at this point where they are, you know, I see a lot of people rebelling against wearing the mask and say it's taking away their freedoms and things like that. Again, you are allowed to have your own opinion. You're allowed to do whatever you want to some degree. That's why this is the greatest country in the world. But I also think there's decency with human beings, right? We have decency. You should not be, you know, affecting someone else's livelihood by doing something as simple as not wearing a mask. So please do that, take care of that, and just do it just because you're a good human being. Just be a good fucking human being. Can I say that again? Just be a good fucking human being, man. That's it. For me, that's all life is about, man. For the most part, just be a good human being. Just be a good fucking human being. That's it. That's it. I want to also thank all of the essential workers. I don't care what you're doing. If you're labeled essential, I want to thank you, because you're putting yourself at risk as well as your family. The nurses, the doctors, all healthcare fields related, the mailman, you know what I mean, FedEx, UPS, all you guys, appreciate it. You guys are making it, you know, possible for us to operate in these times, and it is greatly appreciated, and your hard work will never go unnoticed, at least by me, and I will continue to thank you when I can. And not even just those people, anybody who has to work at this point in time, grocery store workers, anybody who's working, we appreciate you, we thank you. Me personally, what I have been doing in this quarantine, you know, time that we have here, I'm still working, so I am able to experience some normal life, which I do not take for granted, and I enjoy being able to go somewhere outside of these four walls for 8 hours a day to work and return home. You know, that gives me some sense of normalcy, and it helps my psyche much more than some others that I've talked to, and I don't take that for credit. I know that it's hard. I see people every day, you know, they're starting to, you know, lose it as far as your mental health. Your mental health is spiraling down, and it's tough. You're stuck in the house. You're not outside. You're not with your friends. You're not with your family. Your mental health will take an effect. Just know that your mental health will take an effect, and it's not just you. It's not just you. So keep pushing. Keep it pushing. You got this. We got this. We all got this. You're not alone. It's all of us. Although it's to different degrees, I know that, but we're all in this together. So for me, again, the worst part of this has been not being able to go to the gym, because I'm sure I've gained the quarantine 15. The quarantine 15. Dumbass. The quarantine 15. Dumbass. I'm sure I've gained the quarantine 15. And I don't feel too bad about it. I don't feel too bad about it. For me, it's more for me to get to the gym and work off, and you know, it's more of a let's say it's more of a goal for me to get to the gym and to turn it into something positive, to turn it into a better body, better cardio, better everything. So I'm not dwelling too much on gaining this much weight. The quarantine 15. The quarantine 15. Who else has the quarantine 15? So I'm not dwelling too much on it. I'm just gonna use it as a positive, and when I get to the gym, I'm gonna make me work my ass harder and come back better than ever, right? That's our goal, to come back better than ever. I've also been doing other things. What else have I been doing? Buying shit, right? I've been buying shit. I need to stop buying shit. We need to stop buying shit, right? I see a lot of you guys posting that you need to stay 6 feet away from your debit card. Ain't that the truth? I've been buying video games that I started playing. First of all, I'm not a video game. I have a PlayStation, right? But I'm not a person that can sit there and play for hours. I'm a person that can sit there and play for 30 minutes, and then I'm going about the rest of my day. I'm not worried about it anymore. 30 minutes solid, I'm good. And then I'm good. I'm good for the rest of the day. I might be good for 2 months. I might play the game for 30 minutes one day and not play again. And not play again for like 3 months. I might not play again for 3 months. That's just how I am though. So I thought maybe I should buy a couple games to see how it works and, you know, see if I can get back into it. Nah, I can't get back into it. I've sat there for 30 minutes. I downloaded this one game. It is called Ark. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't. It's a game where you are on this island. You are completely deprived from society, resources. You have to do everything from scratch. You have to knock down trees, things like that. You have to do everything from scratch, and there's dinosaurs there. There's dinosaurs there. There's dinosaurs.
You stupid.
Dinosaurs.
You stupid.
There's dinosaurs there, right? And they're roaming all over this little island, and you're a human being, and you have to provide shelter for yourself. You have to provide food for yourself. You have to build things. I think I played this game and it's a popular game. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. Ark is very popular. I think I played this game for about 30 minutes and I called it quits. And that was it. I played it for about 30 minutes and I was like,
Dumbass.
And the game wasn't cheap, by the way. It wasn't cheap, by the way. The game was not cheap. So I ended up trying to delete the game and get a refund, and yeah, no go. So that's stuck on my hard drive, and I don't know what to do with it. But it is what it is. I tried another game. It was a alternative to Madden. It was awful as well. I played it for about an hour. Tried to delete it as well. Yeah, so I'm 0 for 2 about picking games, but that's cool. It's okay. I don't think video games are for me at this point. I'd much rather pod. I'd much rather pod. What you doing later? I'm just gonna pod. I'm just gonna pod. I'm just gonna pod. So that's my COVID-19 update. Not much different from the last week or the week before that, but I'm staying mentally strong. I'm staying, physically weak, but more importantly, I'm mentally strong, so I'll take it. I want to get into some of the things we want to talk about today. Let me talk to y'all today. Can I talk to you guys today? Some of the things I want to talk to you. Yeah, I want to talk to you. Let me talk to you. Some of the things I want to talk about today is an article I read in Forbes, right? It was an article I read in Forbes about, the pandemic and what's going on and how it's affecting everybody and things of that nature, and what we as Americans are doing currently to combat and to not lose our minds during this COVID-19. about today. Some of the things I want to talk about today. Some of the things I want to talk about today is what we are doing to combat the mental health, the boredom, the awful boredom that we have because of the COVID-19. I want to talk about what we got going on to prevent that. My volume is way too low. Some of the things I want to talk to you. Yeah, I want to talk to you. Let me talk to you. Things I want to talk about today is what we are doing to combat the mental health, the boredom, the awful boredom that we have because of the COVID-19. I want to talk about what we got going on to prevent that. Way too low. Some of the things I want to talk to you. Yeah, I want to talk to you. Let me talk to you. Things I want to talk about today is what we are doing to combat the mental health, the boredom, the awful, the mental health, things I want to talk. Let me talk to you. Things I want to talk about today is what we are doing to combat the mental health, Things I want to talk about today is what we are doing Some things I want to talk about today is what we are doing to combat, to make our lives a little easier to cope with what's going on with the COVID-19. So some things we are doing, and I found this on the internet. I found this on Forbes.com. It was like an article that was released and I saw it being shared. It says, dun-dun-dun-dun, Americans are excessively eating, drinking, smoking pot, and watching porn while quarantined from Forbes. Wait, what? Duh. Like, duh. Americans are excessively eating, drinking, smoking pot, and watching porn while quarantined. Duh. Like, what else we supposed to do? What else we supposed to do? What else y'all want us to do? Like, what else are we supposed to be doing? We gotta do it. These are the things we have to do. We have to do it, baby, yeah. We have to do it because anything else.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Because anything else.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Anything else, ain't nobody got time for.
For that.
ain't nobody got time for. Anything else,
Ain't nobody got time for
ain't
that.
nobody got time for. So I see y'all nasties out there watching porn, eating, drinking. What's wrong with y'all? No, we all doing the same thing. Me personally, I'm eating, I usually eat 2 to 3 times a day, when this is not going on. Right now, I'm probably snacking 23 times a day. You know how you go to the refrigerator? You stand in the refrigerator for about 15 seconds. You scan over the refrigerator. And then you close the door. Then you come back 30 seconds later and leave with a snack. Probably like a half-eaten hot dog, some 3 days old chili cheese fries, some 3 days old chili cheese fries, and we sit there and we eat it. But like I constantly do that, 23 times a day. These little snacking gave me the quarantine 15. Would you say? The quarantine. Huh? The what? The quarantine 15. Again, this is the What's That Noise podcast. What's that noise? What's that noise? What's that noise? What's that noise? I don't know what that was. I just saw some like old school joint and I was like, oh, that sounds like, let me put my little spin on that for a little podcast jingle maybe. What's that noise? What's that noise? What's that noise? What's that noise? All right. Enough of that.
Dumbass.
Enough of that.
Dumbass.
Back to episode 6. So yeah, we drinking, we smoking, we watching porn. Like, when is this any different than any other day, though? I know maybe a little bit more, but like, what do they expect us to do? We smoking pot, you probably smoking more. You got more time. If you like to eat, you're probably eating more. You have more time. If you're watching porn, you're probably watching porn more. You got a lot more time. It's not a genius that can say that we're doing this and then it's bad. Do what you gotta do to stay mentally strong, man. Don't care what others are saying. Do what you gotta do to be mentally strong, man. Because if that's the least of your worries is smoking pot, watching porn, careful with the drinking, I guess. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be coming out of this as alcoholics, right? We should not be coming out of here. No, for real though. We shouldn't be coming out of here as alcoholics though. We really shouldn't. So be careful. Be careful of your drinking. Be careful of your eating habits as well. I also need to do that. As far as the eating habits and stuff like that. But yeah, be careful what you're doing out there. Because again, you don't want to come out of this, as a life-changing experience and you chalk it up to COVID-19. I don't want that to happen to you. So yeah, we're doing all of those things. And, I see people also being creative and doing things like, I've seen some podcasts arise, which I am so excited for you guys, and I am happy to help. Some of you guys have reached out and asked me how I started up my podcast. I'm always willing to help where I can, within reason. But I support everybody who's doing a podcast or who's doing anything like this. Keep pushing. It's a long journey. I'm still at the beginning. It takes a lot of dedication. You know what I mean? Blood, sweat, tears, corny ass jokes. No, let me say, I'm just corny. That's just like, this comes normal for me. This is like natural. If you know me, this is my natural habitat. I don't gotta push too hard for these corny jokes, but it is what it is, right? But yeah, one big thing I want to talk about, jumping off of this, this excessively eating, drinking and watching porn.
You stupid.
Watching porn.
You stupid.
Don't be watching porn. No, I wanted to jump off of this watching porn aspect of this. This OnlyFans thing is taking over. OnlyFans thing. Now, if you don't know, OnlyFans, I'm going to give my best description of it, and I could be wrong. Bear with me, right? Because some people really don't know what this OnlyFans thing is, and I've heard about it for a while. And again, this is not me criticizing, knocking. Do what you do to get your money. I'm on my business. It has nothing to do with me. If it's something that you enjoy and you're making money from, I'm all for it. Get your money, right? But this OnlyFans thing, right? This is what it is. OnlyFans. Are you ready? Here we go. So OnlyFans is typically for females, which I found out it can be for males as well, but the vast majority I've seen is females. They create a page where they post pictures, naughty pictures. It's a page where they post naughty pictures. It's a page where you post, things that you will see on a porn website. I don't need to go into great detail, right? I don't think so. I don't need to go into great detail, but it's a page where you see nude pictures and nude activities that are geared towards men who want to see these activities and pay for these activities at a monthly price, right? I've seen anywhere from $5 to $20 per user per month for this content. Again, do what you got to do in these times. I've seen a great increase of OnlyFans in this time because people aren't making any money. People are out of work. I understand. I get it. I don't judge that part. I don't judge that part, right? I don't judge that part. That's not the part for me to judge. Oh, but there's a part that I will judge. There's a part that I have to judge. The part that I need to judge is when you have someone who personally sends you an invite to these OnlyFans pages. Again, it's the OnlyFans pages. What's it called? The OnlyFans pages. When someone gives you a personal invite to their OnlyFans page, right? And you politely decline, right? You politely decline. It's not for me. It's not something I need, or not even that. Maybe something you don't need, you don't want. It's just not something you see the need to pay for. Especially when there's free websites and there's other ways and things to go into, and I don't need to go into it, right? But when you politely decline, right? And the person does not accept it well. The person gives you this, and this is some real experience. This is a real life experience I've had. I had someone inbox me. Let's get this spicy story on the road. So I had someone inbox me, and they said, "Would you like to join my OnlyFans page? Would you like to join my OnlyFans page?" I said, "That's awesome for you. Do what you gotta do. I support you getting whatever dollar you can from any other person, any other robot, human being, fish, animal, mammal, anything on this earth. But that's just not for me. And I support you doing your thing. I hope it works for you. I hope you get all the money you can. Good luck. It's just not for me." And I said, "It's not for me." I kept it 100. I was nice. I said, "It's not for me." And that turned into this. "Oh, that's what you all say. You're just cheap." That's what you all say. You're just cheap. 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 You're just cheap. So, so I completely thrown back. I'm like, whoa. How did you know I was so cheap?
Dumbass.
How did you know I was so cheap?
Dumbass.
Cheap.
Dumbass.
So I'm like, yeah. I mean, in the back of my head, like, yeah, I'm cheap. I'm cheap as hell. How cheap? Cheap as hell. That's how cheap I am. In the back of my head, I'm thinking I'm cheap, but that has nothing to do with me not wanting to subscribe to any of that content that's on OnlyFans. OnlyFans is just not for me. It's for a lot of other people, and a lot of people are making a ton of money, getting rich, living their dreams out. I'm okay with that. That's awesome. That's great. It's just not for me. But you don't got to call me cheap. You don't got to call me cheap for that. I don't know. I mean, if you're getting money from these guys to do that, that's great for you. But when someone declines, and I've heard that, and again, this is not the first time I've been, offered to join these OnlyFans, and I've given the same answer, and their answers are always, you're cheap, you get it you get it for free, why won't you pay for it? You get pictures from people, it's the same thing, why don't you just help and pay out and pay for it? It's not the same thing as me paying for a monthly subscription to see an individual give content of that nature, naughty content. You heard me, naughty content. For naughty content. For people to, for me to pay for naughty content, it's just not up my alley. If Pornhub and things of that nature was free, or anything of that nature, I would never pay for anything like that. So, there's that. Plus, me being cheap, which I am. Me being cheap, which I am. My friends who know me, if you know me personally, my slogan is, if it's free, it's for me. If it's free, it's for me. Come on now, y'all. If it's free, it's for me. If it's free, it's for me. If it's free, it's for me. If it's free, it's certainly for me. If it's free, it's for me. Yeah, if it's free, it's for me. So if it's free, it's for me. That's my slogan. I'm not going to dwell too much on that more. Again, shout out to everybody who's doing OnlyFans, shout out to everybody who's doing OnlyFans and making great money and paying their bills and doing what they need to. Shout out to you guys. I hope you make as much money as you can. Keep it up. Keep doing your thing. But for OnlyFans, we're just going to be only friends. For OnlyFans, we just got to be only friends. For OnlyFans, we just got to be only friends. All right. And it got me to think, you know what I mean? You have to be a bold motherfucker to just say that to somebody that you're cheap because you won't pay for my subscription. You got to be bold. You got to be a bold motherfucker. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need bold people in this world. We need bold people in this world. But you got to be a bold motherfucker.
What's that noise?
To tell someone that they're cheap because they don't want to pay for your OnlyFans subscription.
What's that noise?
I'm about to light a candle for everyone who's listening via podcast. You'll be able to see this once you watch the, wow, I can't handle the lighter. You'll be able to see this once you're more fire. I'm just trying to set the mood. 30 minutes into the podcast, I'm trying to set the mood. What the fuck? I'm just trying to set the mood. Let me set the mood. It's a vibe. Let me set the vibe for you. 30 minutes into the pod, man. Yeah, we light a Yankee candle. But yeah, I love candles. That's one of my relaxers, one of my go-tos. Every night I light a candle. But back to the bold statement. I'm gonna jump around. My podcast, hey, if you know me, guys, you guys love me for me being me, which sometimes I'll jump the fuck around, but I always come back. I'll come back to you. I'll always come back to you. I'll always come back to you. I'll always come back to you. Yeah. I always come back to you. Yeah. You know this. All right, enough of that. But on the topic of bold people, right? I started to think, you know, bold people, right? Because sometimes I'm bold, but for the most part, I'm pretty chill, right? Pretty laid back, pretty relaxed. But there's some bold people out there. And what started to get me thinking about bold people is the people that, and this is something I've been thinking about for a while. I shouldn't be thinking about it. These things should be crossing my mind. These things should not be so prevalent, so important to me. Shouldn't be something I think about, right? But the people that are bold enough to leave their read receipts on. Now, if you don't know what I mean when I say this, for iPhone users, and I'm not sure about Android, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. And this goes for social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever the fuck it is, whatever. If you have an iPhone and I send you a text message, you can have the setting on that shows that you read the text message. So if I send you a text message, you can have the setting on your phone to say, I read that text message, but I'm not going to reply. Fuck you. I'm not replying. I read that text message. I know that you know. I know that you know that I know that I don't really fuck with you at this moment in time, so I'm not going to reply. But I want you to know that I saw it. I want you to know that I saw your text message and I'm not replying. And I'm not replying. It takes a bold motherfucker to do this. How can you just have that setting turned on onto your phone so that way people can know when you just shit on them? That way people know when you don't give a fuck at that moment. Like, I don't know, I have to talk to someone who does this. Are you purposely doing it? Or you just don't care? Or you want people to know that you read, that the text messages are being read and you don't want to talk to them? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why not even, why just tell them, say, I don't want to talk right now? Or it tugs at people's hearts when they send that text message and it shows up read and there's no reply. I gotta lose this fucking voice. What's up with this voice on this episode? This is episode 6, by the way, man. Again, this is episode 6 of the What's That Noise podcast. Subscribe on YouTube.
What's that noise?
How can you just sit there and look at yourself in the mirror and know that you're just hurting people every day by leaving them on red?
What's that noise?
By leaving them on red.
What's that noise?
You're leaving these people on red and you just don't give a fuck. I mean, I guess I gotta admire it. I admire the boldness. I'm down with the shits, I guess, right? I gotta give y'all credit, man. I give credit what credit's due. You deserve it. I gotta give y'all some fucking credit, man. Where's the hand clap on this shit? Just make it clap. Make it clap. Just make it clap. Joke. I gotta give y'all some credit, man. I gotta give you the credit, baby. No. I gotta give you the credit. So I gotta give you guys the credit for that, man. It's just, it takes a lot. Like, I don't know if these people realize that how the other person feels when they're left unread. Like, I don't know. I know how I feel when I see it. I instantly just go, all right, cool. This person is not my person anymore. You're not my person anymore. Do I sound like a fucking crybaby for this? Am I alone in this? Like, is it just me? Is it just me? Am I alone on this? Am I a crybaby for this? But that got me thinking, man. The people that leave people on red, you guys are the real savages. Y'all some savages, man. You guys are savages. Guys, again, I want to thank you for joining the What's That Noise podcast. So what I want to do as well, I'm going to wrap up this because I got so much more to talk about, but we're going to put that to another episode because I want to kind of shorten these episodes a little bit to make them more user-friendly. And also, they take a fucking long-ass time to upload if I don't. 50 minutes takes a long time to upload. And it takes me forever to get these videos out to you guys, which are very important in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. I love fire, by the way. And I have a story about fire that I did as a kid that I'm not too proud of, but it's a very important story that, you know, kind of defines who I am today. And I'll tell that on the next episode. So next time I see you guys again. But I'll give you the rundown. I want to thank you guys for listening to episode 6. Episode 6. We talked about OnlyFans, OnlyFriends, OnlyFans. I'm trying to be OnlyFriends. We got into you guys smoking weed, watching porn, the naughty porn, eating, drinking excessively, smoking weed, whatever. That's what we're gonna be doing until this is over. Stay positive. We're almost there, guys. We are almost there. We just gotta be patient. We gotta continue to do what the powers above ask us to do. Trust in God, trust in each other. And once all this shit is over, which I've said before, when all this shit is over, we'll be back at it. We'll be back doing the doohickey at whatever. The doohickey. The doohickey. The doohickey. We back at these bars, the restaurants, the gyms, before you know it. Yeah, the barbershops. Lord knows I need to be back at the barbershop. Yeah, so we back at the barbershop as well. Just stay strong for each other. Stay strong for yourself. Thank you for listening again. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is like Keith Johnson Jr. Watch and view on that channel as well. Watch the video. So there will be a video of episode 6 as well. Usually takes about 3 to 4 days after this episode drops. But I would please ask that you stream this on your podcast apps before you listen to the YouTube video or watch the YouTube video. Please and thank you. So I would ask that you do that because it helps in the grand scheme of things. But also, I also obviously want you to check out the video on YouTube as well. Comment, like, subscribe, please. Follow my Instagram at Keith Johnson Jr. Instagram at Keith Johnson Jr. Or the What's That Noise podcast Instagram. So the What's That Noise podcast Instagram is What's That Noise podcast Instagram on Instagram. Or you can find my Facebook page at What's That Noise podcast. Just type in What's That Noise podcast and you'll find shit. Please subscribe. And I want to thank you guys for listening to episode 6. And I can't wait to do this shit again. I need to do this more frequently. I need to get my thoughts out more frequently. This is therapy for me. Although you guys enjoy it, I enjoy it just as much, maybe even more. So again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay away from the naughty. Stay away from the naughty porn. No. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. Oh, I put up a 41.